Whether you're ready or not, Thursday is here, folks, the 16th day of October, 2025. I'm Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, a little on the cool side. It's 36, a couple of degrees warmer than it was yesterday at this time. Congratulations to Ellensburg, once again leading the cold parade. I'm sure they're proud of that. 27 degrees, and in Moses Lake it is 28 degrees. Moses Lake still has a frost advisory. We've had some pretty chilly overnight lows. Afternoons have been kind of nice. Today is going to be one kind of just a very weak front that's going to come in and be gone by this time tomorrow. We're going to have lots of sunshine most of the day today. Late in the afternoon, you'll see some clouds come in. It's not bringing any rain, and the clouds will be gone by the time we get up on Friday. And then a pretty strong system rolls into the Wenatchee Valley Saturday afternoon, Saturday night. Very good chance of measurable rain on Saturday night into Sunday. So the weather forecast, which affects everybody, will bat lead off, if you pardon the baseball analogy. Speaking of baseball, if you watched last night, you know what happened to the Mariners. I was thinking about this morning. We lost. What would you rather, as a Mariner fan, go through? Losing a very tight game at the very last few innings, or getting blown out like we did last night? I think getting blown out might be better. It's easier to forget about those kinds of games. We'll have highlights, if you will, of Mariner baseball. Lots of news to get to. Thursday, pause for pets. Phoebe, the little bitty bunny wabbit, needs a little bitty home. So we'll get you to visit Phoebe via our friends at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. And everybody knows what happened a week ago at Sir Wenatchee Valley's headquarters on Orondo Street. They had a flood. Fire suppression system, something with cattywampus, and pretty much like 80% of everything in Sir Wenatchee Valley's offices and headquarters got, well, destroyed. No other way to put it. We did a follow-up. We went down with Mike Malman, our good buddy, the Chief Hope Officer, and we got a little video tour of all the damage that has been inflicted on Sir Wenatchee Valley. These are good people who do good work. They didn't deserve this, but nobody really does. Today, if you're going grocery shopping, even if you're not, you'll want to. Between 10 o'clock this morning till 2 o'clock this afternoon, both Safeways, both grocery outlets, Albertsons, Fred Meyer, in conjunction with the Numerica Credit Union, they're doing a food drive because they had to throw away a lot of food. Again, that's today, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Numerica Credit Union is sending their volunteers out. Fred Meyer, both Safeways, Wenatchee and East Wenatchee, both grocery outlets, Wenatchee and East Wenatchee, and Albertsons and Wenatchee, so everybody's on board. That visit with Mike. Don't miss it, back half of the program. Let's see what we have out there with our PTZ cameras. That's our Wenatchee Heights camera, and it's looking still a little hazy. By the way, all the evacuation notices are gone now for the fires. That's all pretty much back to normal. The Lower Sugarloaf fire is 99% contained. The Labor Mountain fire, not nearly that contained, but at least everybody can go back to normalcy, if you will. Even the air quality isn't really much of an issue. Beautiful view there. We're still away from sunrise, though, 7:21 this morning. Sunset tonight, 6:10. That's 10 hours and 49 minutes of daylight. We hit 60 for our high yesterday. That's about what we'll be today. Maybe a degree or two warmer, but again, increasing clouds throughout the course of the day today. Let's head on up to see what Lake Wenatchee looks like. Nanapoc Ridge. That's cool. That's just a really neat view. I like that. No snow on top of Dirty Face. Probably had a little over the weekend. It's gone now. A beautiful view. This is a great time of the year, by the way, to visit Lake Wenatchee. Get yourself a cabin and an Airbnb on either side and enjoy the fall colors and the cool air and a nice warm fire. I love the Lake Wenatchee area. I need to get up there more often. Good morning to Lake Wenatchee. By the way, we are the #1 rated local morning television show between 7 and 8 a.m. in the greater Lake Wenatchee area. Very proud of that. Let's see what Cashmere looks like this morning. Something like that, high atop Hay Canyon. Just a few little whiffs of smoke that gets settled down into those little narrow valleys. They'll dissipate as the day goes on. That's pointed almost exactly due east towards the Wenatchee Valley, which is way off into the distance. Good morning to Cashmere. Always a pleasure to see you. And Chelan from our Bear Mountain camera looks right up the lake towards, well, it's looking up towards Holden Village and Stehekin. Can't quite make out Wapato Point, just out of the range of that camera to your right from our Bear Mountain camera. And of course on Monday, there was snow on that ridge on the left. That's since melted away. Good time to visit Chelan too, especially if you don't like the crowds in the summertime. There's still lots to do in Chelan, and you're not bumping into people, and you can find a parking spot. Who doesn't like that? It is chilly in Moses Lake right now. It is 28 degrees out at the Grant County International Airport, and so Moses Lake, you are a tad frosty today. We have that slide, unless, of course, the good captain forgot about it. We're waiting for that slide. We're all very excited to see. There you go. Frost advisory for the Moses Lake area. Not for us. We're a little bit warmer, but Moses Lake is chilly, 28 degrees in Moses Lake right now, and so it's going to be a little chilly there. And there's some places in the northeast quadrant of our state that are well below freezing. We're not to winter yet, but those overnight lows are getting a little on the cool side. From the National Weather Service, the 7-day forecast brought to you by Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee. Comfort, care, and community, they all come together. Check out their website. It's better than mine. 61 degrees, sun this morning, clouds in the afternoon, and by the time the sun goes down, right around 6 o'clock or so, we'll have fairly cloudy skies, which is why 44 for the overnight low. We're going to have that proverbial blanket. But Don Johnson, it'll be out of here by the time we get up on Friday, and we're in for sunshine all day tomorrow. And a high of 62 degrees with no clouds Friday night. Going to get chilly again, 38 for the overnight low. To the weekend we go. Kind of the same deal Saturday like today. We'll have quite a bit of sunshine in the early morning hours. Then the clouds roll in and the system begins to make itself felt. It'll be here by the time Saturday afternoon is over. Pretty good system. Almost everybody in the lowlands are going to get some rain overnight Saturday night. We're talking midnight to about 8 a.m. or so on Sunday morning. Bring on the rain. It's going to be much too warm for snow down here, but could get a little bit of snow in the mountain passes. Rain will be done by about noon on Sunday. Sun returns. We'll top off at about 58. Lots of sunshine for the most part Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and temperatures hovering right around normal, both for the afternoon highs and the overnight lows. We have news because, well, that's what we're supposed to do around here, and that's what we'll do when we come back in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. Tour moseslake.com and start your adventure today.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
You won't be voting for Congress or the presidency this year, but local elections are the place where your voice can make the most difference. Wenatchee Valley candidates are lining up to serve on city councils and school boards on both sides of the Columbia River. NCW Life put all of them in the hot seat so you can find the ones who represent you the best. Watch our interviews at these times and dates right here on our channel or anytime online at ncwlife.com. You're watching the NCW Life channel. Your vote matters to us.
Beautiful sunrise right now. It's 36 degrees, quite a bit of sunshine in the morning, some clouds in the afternoon, no rain associated with it. It's a weak little system, a much more robust system bringing us some rain. It's coming our way on Saturday night. It's 10 minutes after the hour. The former Diamond Company warehouse on Columbia Street, well, it no longer exists. Of course, it's now rubble after that early morning fire on Monday consumed much of the building. The brick and timber building was empty, slated for demolition, so a work crew spent the last couple of days taking down the parts of the structure that were still standing. The fire believed to have been caused by somebody inside the warehouse illegally. And when firefighters were called to the scene just after 1 a.m. on Monday, they weren't able to enter the structure to look for possible victims. But Deputy Chief Andy Davidson with the Wenatchee Valley Fire Department now says that no human remains have been found during the demolition and no one has reported being injured or missing. The building was purchased earlier this year by the Chelan County PUD. They plan to build an electrical substation on that site. For the first time in 6 weeks, there are no wildfire evacuation notices active in our area. The last evacuation warnings for the Labor Mountain fire, that's west of town, that was lifted Wednesday as fire crews gained further control of that fire. It's about 43,000 acres in size. It's still only 30% contained, the Labor Mountain fire is, but the fire's movement is much, and structures nearest the fire line are now believed to be out of danger. Evacuation levels on the nearby Lower Sugarloaf fire, which is burning north of the city, they were eliminated on Friday. That fire is also about 43,000 acres. That fire is 99% contained. Fire managers expect to achieve full containment by November 1st. The mural of the surrounding foothills inside the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center turned out to be a prediction when it was painted about 20 years ago. The Senior Service Organization announcing yesterday it is rebranding. It'll be called the Foothills Community Center. Back in August, the center opened up a renaming competition. They received over 500 submissions. While the center is still dedicated to serving those 50 and older, the organization says it wants to recognize the broader community. The center says to expect incremental changes as the rebranding process takes place and that members and the public will be informed as those changes occur. Well, for a little while, it looked like there might be a competitive election to replace Martin Barron, the longtime Wenatchee School Board member who's leaving his at-large position at the end of the year. But when 28-year-old Caroline Siderius won the endorsement of her only opponent, well, she got pretty good odds of winning come November 4th. Our own Jefferson Robbins spoke with Ms. Siderius about her quest to join the school board. A reminder that all this week and all next week we'll be airing full interviews with the candidates in local contested elections every weeknight at 5:30.
Well, I grew up in Wenatchee, gone to school here, went through St. Joseph's private school actually when I was in elementary, and then went through Pioneer Middle School, up through the high school. Love Wenatchee so much that I ended up going to college and then coming back. This community here is amazing. I have a lot of family in town. I got my degree in secondary education, so I taught English and history at Pioneer Middle School for almost 5 years. Through COVID, through all of those kind of ups and downs with, health and safety and making sure our kiddos were actually attaining learning standards while being at home, which was a big struggle. And then about a year and a half ago, with all the budget cuts, I decided to make a change just for my own personal, lifestyle and family and future. Ended up taking a position at the Chelan County Juvenile Detention Center. I run a grant there through the Office of Homeless Youth that houses runaway kiddos and provides crisis services and resources for them and their families.
What's coming down the pike? What does the district need to be aware of from your perspective?
Well, I've been going to school board meetings pretty consistently since I decided I wanted to run. And one of the biggest problems that I see coming is that the federal and state funding for truant kiddos is kind of non-existent anymore. Our department at the Chelan County Detention Center is no longer going to be providing that needed support because we don't have funding for it. And so the schools now have to take over their own truancy process. And I know the high school, I was talking with Donna Mosier and Yumi Savage there the other day, and they're working really, really hard to get their truancy and absentee processes started up really early in the year so that they can target and find these students that need extra supports. But the fact that we don't have the support at the county with funding, I mean, we'll still do everything we can to be supportive, but we don't have the funds to, run it anymore. I think it's going to be a big issue with kiddos kind of falling between the cracks.
We saw the federal government withhold and then restore $2.9 million to Wenatchee School District, which was earmarked for migrant education, multilingual education, before and after school programs. And they're being told not to expect that money at all in 2026 to 2027. So as a prospective board member, what steps do you think the district should be taking to try and get ready for that kind of funding crisis in the future?
If we can rely on our community partners to fill some of those gaps for the migrant, multilingual, bilingual kiddos, when we don't have the funding, I mean, it really is a team effort. We all have to come together, and it's upsetting that we're no longer getting that support from the government, but I think it's a great opportunity for us to come together and be a little bit more close-knit and use what we have here in our community, because there are amazing things here. And I mean, I would love to see more community involvement in our schools, and there is something coming down the pipeline with that. I'm not going to say because I don't want to get in trouble, but I think you'll see a lot of good things coming from the school board this year.
If you drive the Chumstick Highway between Plain and Leavenworth, you know it's a very pretty drive. You also know that there's a lot of forest that butts up right against the highway. Well, they're taking care of that this week. Chelan County says that forest is getting just a little too close to the Chumstick, so this week public work crews are removing hazardous trees that pose a risk to motorists, and that means drivers should plan on one-lane flagger-controlled traffic in the work zone. Delays of about 10 minutes. They started its work earlier in the week on Beaver Hill outside of Plain, and they've been working their way south on the Chumstick towards Leavenworth. They are expected to wrap up that project by close of business today. And speaking of projects, Douglas County held an open house last night to discuss an upcoming canal and road project. Beginning on October 20th, which I believe is very soon, the county will start work on the short span bridge replacement of the 21st Street Canal crossing. That's just east of Baker Avenue outside the city limits. The county also took questions about the North Baker Avenue to North Devon Avenue project. That's going to address ADA compliance and illumination issues. The proposed road improvement will occur between North Baker and North Devon to widen the road, add an uphill bike lane, and install curb, gutter, sidewalks, ramping, illumination, and stormwater facilities. And you are in the loop on this Thursday morning. We'll be putting together a newscast for you, so take a little time out at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or 10 o'clock tonight to check out the news, the evening news at 5, 6, and 10. If you consume your news via the internet, most people do nowadays, our news will be posted on our homepage, ncwlife.com, and on our YouTube page, and we'll put a link, by the way, on our Facebook page. We have X, we have Instagram, we have A Song in Our Heart. We don't have a commissary anymore. They had to close that because of budget cuts. If you have a news tip, though, send us an email. I'd love to hear from you. We've gotten some big stories because of you folks. News at ncwlife.com. Well, you can't win them all. Mariners didn't last night. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. The Medicare annual enrollment period runs October 15th through December 7th, and this year brings important changes to Medicare and prescription drug costs. I offer no-cost plan reviews to help you compare benefits and be confident in your coverage for the year ahead. I've specialized in Medicare insurance for nearly a decade and would love to assist you. Call or visit me today at my office in Wenatchee.
I've had it.
We really need to get this resolved.
Conflict's tough. With Columbia Basin Dispute Resolution Center's help, we don't have to do this alone.
Who are they?
They're mediators who help people work through conflicts within the workplace, families, and even neighbors.
Are they confidential and affordable?
Yes, they're a nonprofit and all their fees are based on a sliding scale.
Okay, that's great. Let's give them a call now.
Find peace of mind with the Columbia Basin Dispute Resolution Center. Call today.
Minutes after the hour, the Toronto Blue Jays hit count them, five home runs to rebound from an early 2-0 deficit, and they routed the Mariners 13-4 last night, and they closed Seattle's lead to 2-1 now in the American League Championship Series. Andres Jimenez sparked the comeback with a tying 2-run homer in a 5-run third inning against George Kirby. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., George Springer, Alejandro Kirk, and Addison Barger also went deep for the Blue Jays.
Rodriguez drills the ball to left center field, headed back there, goodbye! And it's Rodriguez starting the Mariners once again with another first inning home run.
Well, this home run was center cut, and this young man has had all the talent in the world, and he gets it right out in front. That is extension. And out in a hurry.
The Blue Jays in business to open the third with the 9-hitter Jimenez up. Here's a high fly ball off of the bat of Jimenez that's carrying well. Robles turns and watches it fly. It's the 9-hitter Andres Jimenez, of all people, giving Toronto the swing that it desperately needed. It's tied at 2.
What moment turns it momentum? And you could look to this homer where you don't see many out of Jimenez in the ninth spot as being one of those moments.
Varsho cranks a high line drive to right field. Robles watches it hit off the wall. 2 runs will score. Varsho with a double. The Blue Jays offense has come to life. A 5-run third.
And even though you're dejected down 3.
First pitch swinging. This ball's hit in the air to deep center field, and George Springer gets it over the wall for a home run. His extra base impact continues. Third home run of the postseason for Springer, and they've got 6. Vlad Jr. sends a high drive to deep center field. Rodriguez to the wall, it's gone. First pitch of the 5th. Vlad Jr. launches a solo shot. Single, double, homer, Vlad Jr.'s back. Kirk sends a fly ball the other way. Robles retreating to the track, to the wall. It's another home run. Opposite field blast for Alejandro Kirk, and a dozen for the Jays on their 4th bomb of the night. What a roller coaster of ups and downs for this Jays offense. Here's a high drive off of the bat of Arozarena that will leave the yard. Arozarena's got his first home run of the postseason. And the Mariners with something to hang their hat on. Their leadoff hitter, who they hope can catch fire, has a shot.
And see that little thing right there that he clicked and felt? You never know. It might get him going.
Raleigh sends a drive down the line towards the pole. Goodbye. Arozarena and Raleigh go back-to-back. Raleigh's third of the postseason.
Ooh,
what an effort.
Close.
Lucas getting up there. So it's 12-4. 7 home runs in this game between the 2 teams combined. Blue Jays offense silent the first 2 games, but it all gets turned upside down. The Blue Jays punch right back and take game 3 convincingly.
Impressive, especially after the start. Down 2-0 quick in a crowd that's going crazy.
Manager Dan Wilson noted that starter George Kirby started out pretty strong, but once his pitches started finding the middle of the plate, the Blue Jays took advantage.
I thought it came out
one of the best fastballs we've seen the first couple innings. I thought the way it was coming out of his hand, he looked great. And then, they were able to get to some pitches on the plate a little bit, and in that third inning. And then, it was, I think it was 4 2-out runs there at that point, and trying to, get him through that, and because he was throwing the ball so well. This is a team that has swung the bat well all year, and they didn't miss much tonight, and they were able to get to him. Julio getting a pretty good pitch to hit there in that first inning, and I thought he did a really good job of driving that ball on the line. And then I thought, as good pitchers do, they get a little bit more comfortable. They get settled in. Their command comes back. Their stuff comes to them a little bit, and looked like he just was able to get comfortable, get into a bit of a rhythm, and find his secondaries, and once that happened, they were able to get the lead, and then he was able to protect it. Yeah, I think he was all right, that's the kind of effort Vic gives, and that's what you're going to see, especially this time of year. He's going to continue to go all out, and you're right, it was sort of reminiscent of that play down in San Francisco, great effort on his part to make that play. Again, this is a team that has done this a lot this year in terms of bouncing back, being resilient. We've used a lot of words for it, but tomorrow's going to be that opportunity again for us, and these guys know how to prepare and be ready for that, and I don't expect it's going to be an issue for them at all. This is a team that has proven over and over again that fighting back, bouncing back, having resiliency is a part of their DNA, and tomorrow's a chance to do that again.
Well, tomorrow is today. Game 4 is tonight. Louis Castillo will pitch for the Mariners. Future Hall of Famer Max Scherzer gets the nod for Toronto. First pitch on FS1 at 5:33. Well, the Dodgers and the Brewers square off in L.A. Game 3 of their National League Championship Series. The Dodgers, of course, hold a 2-0 lead. That game starts at 3:08 on TBS. Tyler Glasnow will start for the Dodgers as of this morning. Milwaukee has yet to name a starter. I guess we'll find out together. Now, the Seattle Kraken play their second match of their 6-game road trip tonight. They're in Ottawa, taking on the Senators. Seattle coming off their first loss of the season against Montreal on Tuesday night. The Senators won their first game of the year and then have lost 3 in a row. The puck drops at 4 p.m. on Kong TV. Early start for high school football. Central Washington B, of course, whenever Pateros and Moses Lake Christian get together on the gridiron, you can throw the records right out the window. They play tonight. The rest of the Central Washington 1B and 2B games are the traditional Friday night. Prep soccer schedule looks something like this. Most of the small schools taking the center stage. The Big Nine won't be playing tonight, but that's cool. They don't have to play every night. They would get tired, for one thing. Prep volleyball schedule. Kashmir, by the way, is number 3 in the 1A coaches volleyball poll. Chelan is number 1 in the coaches 1A volleyball poll. We got some good volleyball teams here in North Central Washington. There's your full schedule tonight. And of course, we will be at the Wenatchee High School Gymnasium tonight. This is going to be a good one. The Wenatchee Panthers are rated number 3 in the 4A coaches poll. Ellensburg is number 3 in the 2A coaches poll. This will be a good one. We may go 5 sets, and if you can't make it to the gym, you can watch it right here on television, or as we like to say in the business, television. Eric Ranston with the call, 28 minutes after the hour, and those are just some of the games that people are playing. It is World Food Day today. It's Department Store Day today. It's Get to Know Your Customers Day today. It's National Get Smart About Your Credit Day today. It's Bosses Day. Bosses Day? It's Global Cat Day. It's World Spine Day. I know a couple of people who could grow one. Not going to get into that. It's Conflict Resolution Day. We're not doing any of these things because on this date, Noah Webster was born, and so today we celebrate the dictionary, which very few people have anymore. Thank you very much to the internet. You type in a word that's not spelled correctly, they just plain fix it for you. Not bad at all. Yeah, Noah Webster was the first one. He wasn't the first one to do an English language dictionary. That dates back to the 13th century. But he was the first one to Americanize the English language and got rid of some of the bizarre spellings that the English uses. It took 50 years to create the very first Oxford English dictionary. It took Noah Webster 27 years to write his first dictionary. If you study dictionaries, by the way, you are a lexicographist. You're a nerd if you study dictionaries. And because the English language is constantly evolving, once a dictionary is published, it's almost out of date from the beginning. But dictionaries, I still use one, but what do I know? Today in history, Marie Antoinette once told the peasants of France to let them eat cake. Well, on this date in 1793, Marie Antoinette's ability to eat cake ended when they cut her head off. Marie Antoinette, the widow, of course, they had already gotten rid of Louis XVI, and now it was time for Marie to meet her maker, and so they cut her head off at the height of the French Revolution. Marie Antoinette, see ya, October 16th, 1793. John Brown and his raid on Harper's Ferry. It was then Virginia, now it's just plain West Virginia. John Brown's the idea, of course, was to have a slave uprising, a slave rebellion. Didn't work. During the actual raid on Harper's Ferry, 10 people were killed. 7, including John Brown and a number of his sons, were captured and eventually executed. 5 of them escaped, but for a lot of people, this was one of those little sparks that a year and a half later would begin the Civil War. John Brown's famous raid on the state in 1859. Happy 102nd birthday to the behemoth that is that. The Walt Disney Company, founded on this date in 1923. What does Disney own? Disney Studios, Disney Pictures, Pixar, Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm. They bought George Lucas out for a big fat check. They own 20th Century Fox. They own ABC. They own ESPN. They own the Disney Channel. They have an ownership stake in FX, National Geographic, Hulu, A&E. Of course, they have Disneyland. They have Disney World. They have 12 other amusement parks. And not 20 minutes ago, they bought us. So we're now proud to be a part of the Disney corporate family, who's 102 years old today. 1978 was the year of 3 popes. Pope Paul VI died. They got together, they had the funeral, they had the College of Cardinals got together, they had the conclave, and they elected Pope John Paul I, who lasted about 31 days, and he died. So it was back on the airplanes and back to Rome to elect another pope, and they shocked the world by electing the first non-Italian pope in 455 years. In fact, when they made the announcement in St. Peter's Square, the newsmen and everybody else gathered and said, "Who?" Here it is.
Sanctissimum ac reverendissimum Dominum, Dominum Carolum, Sancte Romane Ecclesiae, Cardinalem Wojtyła.
As far as we can understand, the Cardinal Felici has just announced the name of a Polish cardinal. Am I correct, Father O'Keefe?
This is exactly correct. This is Cardinal Charles Wojtyła, who is 58 years old, and he is the Cardinal Archdiocese of Cracovia.
Sibi nomen imposuit Ioannis Pauli,
who has taken the name of John Paul.
This is quite an extraordinary surprise, Father O'Keefe.
Absolutely.
Absolutely indeed. Of course, he would serve as the pontiff for 27 years. And finally, in the wake of the September 11th attacks on October 16th, 2001, Bob Dylan insisted that backstage security be tightened for any Bob Dylan show. And on this date in 2001 in San Diego, Bob Dylan was denied access to a Bob Dylan concert because Bob Dylan didn't have a backstage pass to go to a Bob Dylan concert. The guy's one of the most recognizable faces on the planet. They wouldn't let him in his own show. Let's do birthdays. Heavenly birthday, William O. Douglas, Supreme Court Justice, longest serving Supreme Court Justice of all time, 36 years on the high bench. He wrote more opinions, both majority and dissenting opinions, than any other justice. It's not even close. Of course, he graduated from Yakima High School. The federal courthouse in Yakima is named after William O. Douglas, born in the state in 1898. Barry Corbin, urban cowboy, war games. He was great in war games. Of course, Maurice Minifield in Northern Exposure and other things. Happy 85th to Barry Corbin and happy 45th to Sue Bird. Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame, 4 times a world champion, 3 times a national champion. Sue Bird is 45 years old today. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors, and for that, I get to mention their name every day. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. We had a tour of all the damage to the Serve Wenatchee Valley headquarters with Mike Malman. We're going to have that for you. Do not miss that. Don't forget the food drive is going on today. But first things first, Phoebe, the Widow Bitty Bunny Wabbit, needs a home. It's Pause for Pets.
Hi everyone, my name is Haley and I'm the foster care coordinator here at Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and with me today is Phoebe. I love Phoebe, she's so sweet. When I'm sitting down at the front desk here, she will hang out on my lap, she'll also climb up and perch on my shoulder. She's just very affectionate and is honestly very handleable, which is really great for a young bunny. She's just the sweetest little love. If you guys come down to visit her, you will notice that she has a little shaved area. When she came in, she had a couple of abscesses that our vet team were able to drain. So now she's on the road to recovery. Here at the shelter, we've been working on getting her litter box trained. She is doing better with it. She is going potty at least next to the litter box. Instead of all over her kennel like some rabbits can do. So she's getting there. She's learning, she's growing. She is potentially a Polish rabbit. And we think that she's about 10 months old. And she's already been fixed by our vet team here. So no risk of having future babies. She is of an age where she could be introduced to other rabbits in the home and potentially make new bunny friends. If you want her to be a single bunny, I'm sure she'd be fine with that too. She is very sweet and loves hanging out with people. There are times when I'll be petting her little head and I can see her eyes close and she just almost falls asleep in my arms. She's just so precious. I think she'd be a good first-time rabbit for children that want to get into rabbits, or you know, people who have had rabbit experience. She seems pretty easy from what I've seen. Like, I go up to her kennel door and she'll come up and put her little nose through it and, you know, say hi. And she's just a sweet little girl. I think there's a good possibility with her being younger and already being spayed. It's a better possibility for her to be co-housed with a rabbit through proper introduction. She came in as a stray. Yeah, she got brought in by a member of the public and she sat her stray hold with us. No one picked her up, but she has done well here. And then when she became ours, we were able to fix up that abscess and get her spayed. I don't think she's a wild rabbit. She's been very social from the get-go. And I think at one time she might have had a home, but right now she's just waiting for her new forever one. Yeah, if you want to come see Phoebe, you can come on down to our shelter. We're open every day except for Wednesday, and our hours of operation are 12:30 to 6. And you can come on in, ask to see Phoebe, and a front desk staff will point you in the right direction.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
Handoff to Zielinski around the right side. Got away from one man, got away from two. Squirts between
High school sports is back this fall on the NCW Life Channel. Watch Eastmont, Wenatchee, and Cashmere games right here. Coverage is brought to you in part by our platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Abby's Pizza, Apple Valley Honda, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, Global Car Care, and Highlander Golf Course and Grill. Watch high school sports on your local TV station, the NCW Life Channel.
Welcome to the Gilded Lily home, where something extraordinary is waiting. Fall has arrived at the Gilded Lily. Luscious colors of rust, orange, and gold lead you throughout the entire store. Gourmet foods to delight your guests. Stylish linens, handcrafted jewelry. The Gilded Lily home, where you can step in for inspiration and leave with beautiful items for your home, your kitchen, your lifestyle.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. Warm up with one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti. And everybody is entitled to my opinion. Well, when I was with the Wenatchee Police, we had an ongoing phrase we used when somebody was a complainer. We called them a wimp, whiny, bubba baby. Yeah, I've had that term flung at me a few times. But this phrase has come to mind recently every time the supposed most powerful man in the world takes umbrage at having fun poked at him. Fun poked for legitimate reasons, I might add, by TV comedians to the point where he bullies those in power to silence them. Yep, a wimp, whiny bubba baby. He must have little hands. But this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or a relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa. Be sure to stop by this month and ask about a hot spring spa rebate. Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
Scare Crazy in Cashmere. It's a spooktacular good time all month long in Cashmere. Scarecrows will be waiting for you throughout the town. Silly ones, spooky ones, and everything in between. Yeah, it's Scare Crazy in Cashmere. Bring the family and find the scarecrows all around Cashmere, and be sure to thank these fine sponsors. Get coverage you can trust from Bruce Cheadle, your State Farm agent. Doan's Valley Pharmacy in the heart of downtown Cashmere. Enjoy a treat at their old-fashioned soda fountain.
When law enforcement arrived on Tuesday, water was essentially, they described it as being waist high. We're in our Fresh Hope market right now. We've been able to get all our shelves out of here. A major cost to us is going to be our refrigeration units. We have these two large display refrigerators, two fairly large display freezers. The problem we have is that the electronics on these was below water level a long time. The water level did get above the toilet, so there's contamination. So these essentially all have to be replaced. Our insurance money should take care of much of that, or if not all of it. But right now we're kind of in that wait and see phase. And so everything basically was destroyed. We did have our shelving, our grocery shelving in here. Our grocery shelving, we were able to salvage food that was canned basically above the 4-foot mark, but anything that was boxed, things, noodles, dried potatoes, that kind of thing, we had to throw out because there was so much moisture in the air in here, so much humidity in the air that it basically destroyed those products. You know, and as you wind around here, this is where the bulk of our work went on, and we had multiple clients every day. We were on track this year to do about 150,000 pounds of food to marginalized families in our community, and that's on hold right now. And I think really kind of the grand tragedy of our market space right now is in the last 2 months, we've had the Lighthouse shut down that had a large box program for low-income people. We've had Wenatchee Rescue Mission discontinue a lot of its food box programs just because of a lack of food right now. I would encourage people to take food to the Wenatchee Rescue Mission so they can get it out there to folks. But right now, obviously, we're in this phase of salvage. We anticipate being in salvage probably through Wednesday, and then we'll begin setting up, hopefully, at a new location, and we're working to fast track that right now. These were both pretty full, and all of it had to be disposed of. This particular unit, you see how large it was. The water actually lifted it up off the ground, turned it over, and so this one was essentially at some point fully submerged, and all of the mechanicals had broken away from it. These are not cheap units. These are about, these 3-door, about $7,000. The freezer units you see down there about $4,500. So it's, you know, it's significant. And what it does do is it curtails our protein dramatically. And folks need protein. We had some generous donor last week purchase a bunch of canned protein and get it to us. And we just appreciate people doing things like that right now for us, because it will help us when we have our new location set up, get up and running as quickly as possible.
How are you doing, Mike? You look like you've had a pretty difficult 7 days, bud.
Well, I know it's been difficult. You know, you always adjust, right, to the new reality. And, you know, it was pretty obvious when we got here Tuesday morning what we were dealing with, and your head just shifts to what's next. And, you know, we're a Christian organization. We fully believe God's gonna step up and answer this. And folks in the valley, this is a great valley for helping people. And so we were really excited because we've already had so many people reaching out. I'm a little tired. It's, you know, you know, my staff is too. It's not me. They may be more tired than I am. They've been working so hard in here. And so we're doing all right. We're doing good. I told somebody last week, I go, I'm seeing little miracles all the time. Little signs of God doing one more thing for us. A person reaching out, something that we didn't think was salvageable. Locations reaching out to us as possible sites. So I'm tired but very optimistic. I jokingly said it was like drinking out of a fire hose, and then I realized, given our circumstance, that was somewhat ironic for me to say that. But no, we're doing good. A lot of our regular volunteers have agreed to show up, just keep coming in, and instead of getting food to people right now, they're working on salvage. And so you see this team of people getting stuff out into the parking lot to either be tossed or to be salvaged, and we've got a crew out there kind of separating stuff. We'd love, of course, to salvage as much as we possibly can, but obviously that's we have to take safety into account. We handle a lot of food through here, and so anything we can do to cut down or eliminate contamination, we absolutely have to do. So we're throwing things out that we wish we could keep, but simply using it in the future for food distribution is not a good idea.
Your staff, how they doing in all this? Because you do, I mean, it's a volunteer-driven organization. You have a board that you report to, but there are people on salary here. Yeah. Where are we with that?
There's 4 people other than me. Obviously, they've shifted in this interim period from meeting with clients to doing salvage work, cleanup. One of my folks is doing all of our communications work right now, answering our phones remotely. We've got to get our technology back up and running as quickly as possible for a variety of reasons. The biggest probably being is that we're limited in our ability to get in contact with our clients now that our server is down. We believe it can be salvaged, but that's where we are right now. And so staff is doing the best they can. This came at a very challenging time for us because this gets to be really, really busy season for Serve Wenatchee. We have our Coats for Kids a week from this Saturday in the Albertsons parking lot. That is going on as planned. We are going to collect coats. We're going to get them to kids in the valley. Last year we had requests for about 1,100 jackets, so we need people. People are asking how they can help us right now. One of the most important ways folks can help us right now is by fully participating in our year-end events. And so Coats for Kids, 10 to 2 on the 25th in the Albertsons parking lot. We need all sizes of jackets from little kids up to adults. The teens wear adult sizes. If you could bring us there so we don't have to buy additional, that would be fantastic. That would be a big way you can help us. You know, basically anything from my waist down was destroyed. We're already, you can already see these shelves here already, they were collected. I mean, that actually just is something that was, this is something we haven't removed yet that's still full of water. And if you see in here, all these bottom shelves, basically from here on down, they're all destroyed. The bases are destroyed, so all of this shelving is non-salvageable. Our copier that we had a lease on, that's now an insurance claim, and our offices. One of the things you don't anticipate is we had a lot of diapers and adult-type diapers here for children and adults, and a lot of those boxes were invaded by water, and these diapers basically are these, like, they feel like these little 5-pound bombs now, and they all a lot of them tended to explode when getting knocked around, so it's left this gel here that's really slippery, and you have to be kind of careful when you're coming through not to slip on the diaper chemicals that absorb that normally. So all that needs to be tossed. We're filling things up right now, bags up with garbage. We're getting it hauled off the scene, and as soon as we can wind this down here, hopefully, like I said, by midweek, we can start getting to a new location and getting things set up. Our goal is really to get our market back up and running as quickly as possible, because there are a lot of folks that rely on services like this at the lower end of the wage spectrum, and so the quicker we can get up and running, the better off those folks will be, and that's a priority for us right now. All our office technology shot. We were able to salvage 3 laptops, which was amazing. It was fantastic. I normally leave my computer bag, if I'm not working that night, on the floor for whatever reason, and I've never done this before. I put it on a shelf. Monday night or whenever it was, a week ago today, I put it on a shelf. I was sure in my head when I came in I was going to find a dead computer, and there my computer is sitting up above the water line. And so I've never done it before. I will do it again now. From now on, I will always put my computer on a shelf so we can save it. But yeah, I mean, you see, it's a mess.
It reminds me of the adage, why do bad things happen to good people?
Yeah.
Or good organizations?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's always a way.
And I just fully believe we'll come out stronger on the other end. I think that it raises awareness about what's going on with some of our more marginalized and struggling people in our community, and our chance to help them as a community, because that's really what this is about. It's not about Serve Wenatchee, it's about ministering to people who are struggling. So I'm hopeful about that, and it's good.
People can still log on to your website and donate.
Yeah, within the next, well, by the time this goes on, it'll be live. You can go to our website right now, www.servewenatchee.org. I think on the main page it says flood relief. There's a place you can give. We're going to be updating people about not only donor opportunities, but volunteer opportunities. We really can use volunteers, specifically as we get over to our new location, sort of all hands on deck, people moving. Pretty excited about that. And so servewenatchee.org is going to be the place to go for the latest information. If you're wondering about volunteer opportunities, check that out, but also check out our social media. Instagram, Facebook, our social media there. We'll have updates and calls for volunteers there as well. So really right now we need money and we need people. And I'm sure that we'll probably get more. So the other thing I wanted to say is this. We lost most of the food in our market. There's this great opportunity to refill our market this week. This Thursday from 10 to 2, Albertsons, both Safeways, both grocery outlets, Fred Meyer. From 10 to 2, there'll be employees from Numerica Credit Union out in front collecting non-perishable food items. So I'm just really putting a challenge out to the Valley to get out to any one of those grocery stores, grab a bag of groceries, bring them out. We can get our market restocked as quickly as possible. So on day one, we're ready to open.
And of course, with donations via the website, you can get what you need fairly quickly.
Yeah, and the benefit of cash donations is we buy bulk. Yeah. So your money goes far. I love people to go to the grocery store and pick up stuff for us. I encourage that. I think it's great. If you can't do that, if you give us money, we can make that money even go a little bit farther. So that's big. I can tell you right now, just being fully transparent with people who may be interested in helping serve Wenatchee, we were a renter at this site. We had renters insurance. The amount of renters insurance we had was in the $60,000 range. So we're a little concerned that we may be above that by the end of the day. But we're working hard to salvage, again, as much as we can. We are we're doing what we can right now and making decisions the best we can to purchase the things we need to purchase to get up and running at a new location as quickly as possible, and do that in a way that's as fiscally responsible as possible.
You're going to find a home. It might be permanent. It might be just temporary until maybe you can work back to your offices here on Orondo Street. Talk about that. There is some good news of this because some people have stepped forward to give you guys a new home for the time being.
Yeah, Debbie Sperry over at the United Methodist Church reached out to us. She's managing the property that was the United Methodist Church, Trinity United Methodist Church in East Wenatchee, which has largely been sitting empty for a couple years. It's on a bus line. A lot of our clients use buses, and we believe we're working through sort of the paperwork in the city and that type of thing right now, but we're very hopeful we can get up and running full speed over there within the next couple of weeks. And that would be huge for us and be huge for our clients, obviously.
Mike, it's good to see you, the Chief Hope Officer of Serve Wenatchee Valley. It's been a trying week, but as you mentioned, when God closes a door, it opens a window.
Hope floats.
There you go.
It doesn't matter if it's a cold day or a hot day. Either way, it's a work day. And what defines a work day isn't the weather, but what gets done. An industry leader in climate control, the Ranger XP 1000 North Star puts your comfort in your hands, helping you manage any condition and tackle the task at hand, even if the task at hand isn't work at all.
Now is a time to reconnect at home. Create your own private retreat with a clean-burning, energy-efficient fireplace extraordinaire fireplacer insert. Handcrafted in Mukilteo, Washington, Fireplace Extraordinaire has amazing fire designs your whole family will love. Design your dream fire online with our Design My Fire tool. Request a quote or visit your participating Fireplace Extraordinaire dealer today.
Mention this ad to receive an additional 3% discount. Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
Oh, is this on? There we go. I was muted. Oh, that must be Tucker's favorite button. the button that turns me off. 36 degrees, and we are leading the temperature parade. Everybody else is really cold. Ellensburg is 25. Good morning, Lake Chelan. You are at 33 right now. Moses Lake, 28 degrees. It is chilly. Even for October, it's chilly. All of this from the cold air that came in over the weekend with all that snow in the upper elevations. Hello, Leavenworth. It's good to see you. Yeah, still some residual smoke from the that's Cashmere, by the way, from the Labor Mountain fire. Still burning. It's still only 30% contained, but it ain't really burning too much. Hello, Cashmere. It's always good to see you. We're going to see some sunshine this morning, some clouds this afternoon, and clouds tonight. Then we do it all over again towards the weekend. But the big weather story is a pretty robust system that's heading our way from our friends at Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. Morning sun, afternoon clouds, 61 today. The clouds will keep us a lot milder tonight, 44 for the overnight low. Sunshine all day Friday, sunshine most of the day Saturday. Then this system comes in, and between about 11 p.m. to about 11 a.m. on Sunday, we're going to have some rain, and I say bring it on. That's it for us. Have a good and safe Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.